In contrast, reward-driven success produces only short bursts of pleasure, often followed by emptiness. Even countries that score high in happiness rankings continue to face rising levels of anxiety, depression, loneliness, and burnout. Why? Because these indicators measure conditions of living, but they cannot fully measure meaning of living. Hare Krishna, my dear students, parents, professionals, and thoughtful members of society. Today, I wish to speak on a subject that deeply affects every human being, yet is rarely examined honestly. The subject is success. What it truly means and why so many successful people feel empty inside. Let's see from a research perspective. What does the modern psychology reveals? Modern research in psychology and behavioral science now confirms a striking fact. Once basic needs are met, money and status add very little to happiness. Instead, long-term well-being is strongly correlated with sense of purpose, meaningful contribution, and inner alignment with values and service beyond the self. Studies consistently show that people engaged in meaningful work tolerate stress better, experience less burnout, and report a deeper life satisfaction even when responsibilities are heavy. In contrast, reward-driven success produces only short bursts of pleasure, often followed by emptiness. This is why many high-paying industries report some of the highest levels of stress, dissatisfaction, and burnouts. So, to better understand happiness across societies, modern researchers now use global happiness and well-being indicators, where countries are ranked based on factors, to name few, such as the income and the economic security, health and life expectancy, social support systems, personal freedom and safety, trust in institutions, emotional well-being, and life satisfaction. These measures help governments assess whether citizens enjoy comfortable living conditions. However, an important paradox emerges. Even countries that score high in happiness rankings continue to face rising levels of anxiety, depression, loneliness, and burnout. Why? Because these indicators measure conditions of living, but they cannot fully measure meaning of living. They can measure income, safety, or healthcare access, but they cannot measure whether a person feels their life has a purpose, whether their work feels meaningful, whether the success feels spiritually satisfying, or whether the heart feels fulfilled. Thus, science has discovered the symptom that material progress alone does not guarantee inner fulfillment. But it still struggles to explain the deeper root cause of human emptiness. Let's see few from the modern case studies. The success without meaning. Let's consider a common modern scenario. A very highly qualified professional enters a competitive field. Years of discipline and sacrifice lead to financial stability and social recognition. Now, on paper, his life appears successful. Yet internally, something feels missing. The motivation becomes fragile. Work feels mechanical. Rest does not refresh us anymore. Relationships begin to feel transactional. Fear of losing status or position grows. Many such individuals reach a disturbing realization. I have achieved what I was told would make me happy, but unfortunately, I am not happy. Now, this is not laziness. This is success without a purpose. Let's see something from the spiritual side, some spiritual case study from Shastras. Now, let us examine a case in the life of Yudhishthira Maharaj. After the devastating Kurukshetra war, Yudhishthira Maharaj possessed everything modern society defines as a success. He has kingdom, authority, wealth, and victory. Yet, he was deeply distressed. Externally, he had won. Internally, he felt morally burdened and spiritually dissatisfied. Why? Because he understood a truth most modern leaders forget. And that's very important. Achievement without the spiritual alignment creates the inner conflict. And the Yudhishthira did not seek distraction or pleasure. He sought dharma. He sought instruction. He sought meaning. And when he ruled as a servant of the divine will, not as an enjoyer, did the peace return. So thus we learn a very important lesson. Even the righteous success becomes painful when it's disconnected from a spiritual purpose. I'll give you one more example from the life of Arjuna. The Arjuna's dilemma. This is just before the battle begins. On the battlefield, Arjuna experienced complete collapse of motivation. He was competent, trained, and justified, yet was unwilling to act. His crisis was not cowardice, it was crisis of a purpose. When the action is driven by ego, fear, or attachment to results, even the duty becomes unbearable. But when the action becomes service, clarity returns. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does not tell Arjuna to escape the work. Instead, he teaches him to transform the work, to act without selfish attachment, and offer the results to the Supreme. Once this work changes bondage into the liberation. If we go into deep spiritual diagnosis of the problem, the real problem is not the work. The problem is misidentification. This is very important. The problem is misidentification. And when a person thinks that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, my worth comes from results, and then the success produces pride and failure produces despair. But when a person understands I am an instrument in the hands of the divine, then my work is an offering. My value is intrinsic as a spirit soul. And thus even the difficult work becomes very peaceful. What could be the spiritual solution to these problems? When the purpose is driven by a success, in this case, the Shastras offers us a very practical path. First, discover your natural inclinations and abilities, technically called as Swabhava, rather than blindly competing with others. Second, perform your work as a service, not self-worship. Third, regulate your ambitions. Let the excellence remain, but remove the ego. Fourth, anchor life in a spiritual practices. How you can anchor the life in spiritual practices? Take to some mantra chanting, life of devotion, purity. These things stabilizes the mind. And when the higher taste awakens, the lower anxieties gradually lose their grip. Hare Krishna.